It's time to sip the coffee and spill the tea on Talking with 3D Live. Here's your host, Derrick Dixon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talking with 3D Live. I'm your host, Derrick Dixon, and this is where we always sip the coffee, spill the tea. Listen, before we even get started, do me a great big favor. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, click it, love it, share it, do all those things, and make sure that everybody is tuned in right now to Talking with 3D. This is an iRose Film production, and just a reminder that we are on every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you'd like to be a guest or you know anyone that would like to be a guest, email me at talkingwith3d@gmail.com. That's at talkingwith3d@gmail.com. Today, I get to sit with Sherry Wilson. Sherry Wilson, she was born in Austin, Texas, but she was raised in the resilient streets right here of Baltimore, Maryland. She's a magnetic personality, has a magnetic personality, calm, but yet electric, but commands attention. Coming up in Baltimore, she channeled death and grit into a professional acting and training, transferring raw life experiences into the acting and onto film. So today we want to welcome Miss Sherry Wilson. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here.
Having me.
This is the first time I actually have met you.
Yep.
Yes, and I've met you, we have been introduced through Selena Polk.
Mm-hmm.
And you're working with Selena Polk in a film that you guys have already filmed.
Mm-hmm.
You've already filmed, so it's going to be featured, called The Return of the First Lady.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about that, and we'll get some information because we have a movie premiere that's coming up in March, correct?
Yep, March 26th.
March 26th. So we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about that. But I want to talk and let all my viewers meet, and myself to meet Sherry Wilson. So, Sherry, you say you come from Austin, Texas, but brought up in the resilient streets of Baltimore. What does that mean?
Oh, wow. I guess in my high school days, I met my childhood sweetheart, high school sweetheart. And he was in the fast life. And it ended quick. The relationship. He went to jail. I could have gone to jail, but I was able to turn my life around. And
let me just stop you real quick.
Okay.
Before we fast forward too quick. So, how old were you when you met?
I was 16 when I met him.
And what was the attraction? What, did you grow up in Baltimore or you grew up in Austin?
In Baltimore.
You grew up in Baltimore. So growing up in Baltimore, did you grow up around, I don't want to stereotype him as the bad boy.
Right.
But,
yes.
Okay. But was that a natural attraction, or how did you get connected?
I guess I fell for the bad boy. It was an attraction. Everyone had a bad boy at that time in that era.
Okay.
So, he kept begging me to be his girlfriend, and then finally I accepted, and then came the real truth of the lifestyle he was living.
Okay.
And,
can we talk a little bit about that?
he was a drug dealer, and so, he showered me with all the gifts, the jewelry, the fur coats and cars.
At 16?
Yeah, at 16.
At 16, you were being showered with furs and cars, and how old was he?
He was 17.
17.
18. I think he was 2 years older than I was. Yeah.
Wow. So you were being drawn in by all these material things at 16.
I thought I was in love. And,
And were you in love with him, or were you in love with the fact that this is what he could bring to me?
Well, it was love, but then, when you get older, you realize we were kids. And, I was attracted by all that, the glitz and the glam and the fast cars and stuff like that. So.
And then he went to jail.
Yes, unfortunately, he got 50 years.
50.
Yeah, and I was pregnant at the time.
Is he still
He
incarcerated?
came home. He did 30
Okay.
years and came home. My daughter is now 35. So he was gone all of her childhood, her early adult life. So, yeah.
Wow. 50 years. And did you, because you had a child by him, and obviously you stayed connected
Right.
with him.
I did. I did stay connected for a while, and then I stopped. But
And
I
did you
couldn't
stay?
totally because, it's my daughter's father.
Right. And it's your daughter's father, but did you stay connected, hopeful that
He would come home.
he would come home and these things would change?
Yeah. But he came home, but he didn't come home to me because my life had changed and for the better, and I moved on and, doing other things. So,
How did you see that your life had changed? What was the aha moment for you?
I guess when I got my own job and I could buy my own car and jewelry and fur coats and stuff like that. So I was like, I was proud of me because I could do that, and I
Right.
didn't have to go that route again. Well, so yeah.
So you fast forward and you realize that, you know what, I can do this on my own. I can buy my own furs. I can buy my own cars and things like that. How did you have a daughter? How did you explain to your daughter, first off, where her father was?
Well, back then we used to tell the children that their dads were in school or away in the service or something like that. But
Now she does know now.
Yeah, she
so we're not telling her something new right now.
She called. She's very smart, so
Okay.
she caught on quickly and was like, why do you wear a uniform all the time? It has the same clothes on, and And then she saw what we went through to get into the jails to visit him. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that in any way affected your daughter? So say, her dating now.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you feel like it's?
Well, I mean, for my daughter, unfortunately, it's hard because she didn't have a father in her life to guide her and show her how a guy's supposed to treat her and love her and stuff like that. So it played a great toll on her in her love life and stuff like that, even to this day.
When, as growing up, did you feel like that you and your daughter's relationship was at any time, altered because of the fact she did not have the man that she knew as her father in her life?
It did. I didn't think it would, but it did because I know some things that she still deals with now that occurred in her childhood. So that we're having to go to therapy for at times and sit down and have come to Jesus moments with one another.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took a great toll.
If you could do anything different for your daughter, what would you tell her, or what would you do to do just maybe one thing different for her or in her life?
To just take her time, stay a child as long as possible, and just do your research on people and things, because everything is not what it seems all the time. People,
Yeah. So how has this helped you now in your current present life? How, looking back, what type of strength, what type of learning lessons have you received for yourself?
Well, a part that I left out was I did have another child, not by him, of course, someone else. But I lost her at the age of 3, so that was hard.
Yeah.
To do. I mean, she stayed in the hospital.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
And I'm giving her more attention than I was giving my older daughter because I was always in the hospital. So to, and it's not easy. It's just as time goes on, it gets a little easier to deal with, you know. But I've had therapy and stuff like that. So I just keep God in my life first, and just, you know, do what I can do.
Yeah. Because, you know, losing, you don't want anyone to have to go through the grief of losing a child,
Right.
especially at, you know, at 3 years old, because you have big aspirations for your children,
Right.
you know, and you want the world for your children.
Yes, absolutely.
And to lose that. So, and it's good to hear that you are going through therapy and getting what you need for yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy.
Nope.
You know, it's not easy. People think, you know, going through a divorce or going through a breakup, but when you lose a child, it's a completely different situation of what you have to go through.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And going through your process, going through the therapy and going through counseling, things like that, has it grown you to see things different? Do you square your shoulders? Do you you know, you don't let the minute things bother you? What does therapy do for you?
Yeah, because I refused to stay, because I went to a dark place, but I came out of that.
And
I
let me ask
refused
you
to
that,
go.
going to your dark place, what did you go through? And the reason I ask that, because there's so many of our listeners that say, I'm in that spot now. I don't know how to get out of it.
I just, well, because you know, I didn't want to talk to anyone, be around anyone. People was happy, and then I was like, no, I can't do this. You know, I have a child. I have to, you know, take care of her, and so I just prevailed and got a, you know, I went out and got a job, did well with that, and got her through school. She did well in school. And I mean, therapy just helped for me, though. That's all I can say with therapy. Just talking to someone, because I didn't want to put a damper on anyone else's life, talking about something so sad, and you know, so I just went to therapy and talked to them. And talked to them, you know.
Right. Yeah. You said in something that you wrote, it said, I love when God sends me little confirmations, letting me know he heard me.
Because I am I believe in God. I love God. I love the Lord. And I had to turn my life around and put him first in my life. And I'm always praying. I'm always praying for myself and others. And so I don't know, just little things that, you know, that happen, like such as this movie is happening for me. And this is something I've been praying about, and he answered, and I see, you know, what he's doing for
What God can do for you in your
and
life.
I appreciate it.
And a lot of times all we have to do is just ask.
Yeah, just
because it's
ask.
sitting right there at the doorstep.
Yeah.
But we're so afraid to open up the door and let it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because of the past and the baggage.
Yeah.
And a lot of us want to carry that baggage along with us. And a lot of times you got to release that baggage. You got to let it go.
Absolutely.
You have to let it go.
Yeah.
So you have released that for yourself?
Yes. And let go of the fear, because I always try to fit in a box with others and, you know, do what they're doing. And I had to just learn to love myself first, put me first, and step out there. And, you know, and now, you know, I'm flourishing with my acting skills, and I'm happy, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. What was one of your biggest fears?
Just, you know, just speaking out, talking. I never wanted to stand up in front of people and talk.
Really?
I was shy.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, oh, just let somebody else say whatever. And I felt so bad because, like, my mom retired from work, and it was my time to say something. And I stood up to do it, and I couldn't.
Wow.
And to this day, I feel bad. I'm like, oh my God, I let my mother down, didn't say anything.
Uh-huh.
And my daughter stood up and spoke, so I was happy for that.
Wow.
But yeah, so I had fear of speaking in front of people.
So you stepped into acting. Was this your first acting job, or you've acted before that?
Well, I was in a play with Rudy Williams.
Okay.
He did Everything That Glitters Ain't Gold. So I did the play with him. So that was my first. in my
So
adult life of
being
acting.
feared to talk, but then you got into theater and acting.
Yeah.
How did that transition happen?
I just prayed on it. I was taking some college classes, and I think as I spoke and did things in class, that opened me up. And then I'm like, hey, I can do this, because I didn't know these people. And I was like, okay, I did that. I can, move forward and do other things. And so that's what I did. And I just kept going with it. I'm not looking back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, and then we'll talk about the film. Let's talk about a little bit about what you would speak to women today.
Okay.
We have a lot of young girls that, because society has changed. So of course, a lot of young girls, they see the glitz, the glamour, and our young boys out there trying to give them everything that they want, which is the wrong way. Encourage our young girls of how to. I can't really tell them stay away, but we got to help our young girls.
Yeah.
We've got to help our young boys. Encourage those girls of what because we have to speak to them, and we have to be honest and truthful with them. Because a lot of times what we do is we hold back, and you see that young girl, but you're like, well, I'll just leave her alone. She'll learn on her own.
Right. But if I could tell them anything, I would say do not go after the bad boy. No, don't do it. Growing up, that was like the cool thing to have a bad boy, and but now I'm like, I want the nerd. I want the guy that's over here in a suit, or that's brewing up something, that's gonna be somebody, and that leave that street life alone. It gets you nowhere fast.
Yeah.
Either 6 feet under or in the prison.
Yeah. Today's episode of Talking with 3D Live is brought to you by iRose Films. iRose Films photo booth will capture every special event, from birthday parties, weddings, baby showers. They also specialize in 360 booths, also videography. So please make sure that anytime that you have a special event, contact iRose Films, irosefilms.com. And I would say also, because even the one over here in the suit, the nerd, you have to know yourself first.
Yes, you have to love yourself first.
And I think that that's where it's going to start, is loving yourself first.
Loving yourself
because
first.
the nerd over here could be beating the hell out of you.
True, that's true.
And the
true.
bad boy has been taking care of you.
Do your research.
You got to know
Take
who.
your time.
You got to know who you're dating, and they always said, see how they treat their mother.
Yes, see how they treat their mother, their sister, and see if they even love themselves. Because if they don't love themselves, they can't love you.
They can't love you.
So
the first thing that we have to do is teach our young girls, our young boys, love yourself first.
Absolutely.
Because the issue is loving the furs, loving the rings, loving the fast cars. I love this life, but do I love myself?
Yeah, you gotta love yourself first, because if you love yourself, you won't allow yourself to get
there you go.
Put yourself in those predicaments and situations.
Right.
You'll walk away.
You'll walk away because that doesn't become relevant.
Right.
I can get my own self a fur. I can get my, maybe not at 16.
Right.
But that in life, I can get my own fur. I'm going to get my own car.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow you to make it seem like you're the only person that can do this for me.
Right.
So, and a lot of times that comes from home.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they've never received it, that love from home. So, were you ever?
And I was brought up in the house with both parents and love and stuff, but I've noticed that you always want the opposite of what you have sometimes. If you are the nerd, you want to be the cool guy, or if you are, the popular girl, you want to be not seen so much, or you always want the opposite of what you have, and
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. I could say I was the nerd.
Okay.
But when growing up, I always saw myself just bigger, I should say the bigger nerd, because, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke or anything even growing up.
Okay.
But I just I wanted more.
Yeah.
I didn't let influences change me.
Right.
And I think that, but I'm not gonna lie, I always saw this person over here doing this and this person over, but it just never swayed me.
Oh, that's good.
It never swayed me. I wanted to stay my path. I wanted to stay my lane, and I didn't care what others thought.
Yeah. And see, that's something I did when I was young. Now, not so much.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah. So let's talk about you getting into the film. You're in a film called Return of the First Lady, written, directed by Selena Polk.
Yes.
And Selena Polk, she has written so many plays. I know she just had a play out, The Unexpected, I believe, The Unexpected. Selena Polk, she's a writer, director. She's also an author. So a great person.
A great person.
A great
Incredible
person.
woman. Yes.
And her story alone is very powerful. Very powerful. And so tell me how you got into Return of the First Lady. What is the movie? Tell me how you got into it, and then we'll talk about what the movie's about.
Okay. So doing the everything that's ain't glitters isn't gold. She came to that play and she saw me acting in that. And the moment she said she saw me, she was like, "I want her. I want her to, to be with me." So I saw her, and a few times she invited me to come and do some things, and there was that fear, and I was like, I gotta get past this thing,
Yeah.
And so I seen her again. I believe it was another Rudy Williams play, and she said, "Look, I'm doing this movie.
Yeah.
I want you a part of it. That's it." And I was like, "All right, you got me. I'm coming." And the rest is history. So I was there and I did my part.
Yeah. So who do you play in the movie?
I played Bella.
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 Bella. And who is Bella in the movie?
And I am the sister to the First Lady.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a bad girl because First Lady was all into church, and I'm pulling her back out into the streets with me.
So you're pulling the sister back out into the streets. Okay, so that's Return of the First Lady. So you are the First Lady's sister, and you're trying to. So why is Bella trying to pull her back in the streets?
Because I ran into some trouble,
Okay.
and since she taught me the game. But she decided to go to the Lord, and I stayed in the game. And so now I'm like, "Hey, look, I need you back over here for a minute." So she comes back and help her sister out.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you dive into that character? How did you find Bella? How did you?
It was easy. Being in the streets, knowing street life, and then watching movies and stuff. I study people, so it was easy. It was easy to do that.
It was easy. Okay. So you have we have Return of the First Lady, March 26th. It's going to be the premiere. It's going to be at the
The Senator.
Senator Theater.
Yes, Senator
At
Theater.
7 p.m. And is there anything going on, for the premiere? What are they going to be doing?
I know we're gonna have. I don't know. Let me see. We do. There is an after party. There's a VIP there. She will have food and drinks and goodie bags and
I know she normally does a red carpet.
yes, definitely a red carpet event.
Okay.
So I tell everyone, I have tickets. Come see me. I have tickets to sell.
Okay.
I'll sell at the door, but I guess the price will go up at the door.
Okay.
But
All right.
yeah.
So can you tell us who is in the movie? Who's acting with you?
Well, it is Kimmy. I just met some of the characters myself.
Okay, yeah. And it's hard because a lot of times you don't even know who's in the movie until you watch it.
Yeah. And so I do know Kimmy because I played up with her and Jabril.
Okay.
So those are the two people that I do know of in the movie.
Okay.
And Rudy Williams, he's playing in it as well.
Rudy Williams. I know Rudy Williams.
Yeah.
So Return of the First Lady, it is going to premiere March 26th. March 26th at the Senator Theater, 7 p.m. And this is written and directed by Selena Polk.
Selena Polk.
So tickets are available. Can you go to Eventbrite or?
Eventbrite, you can get tickets there, and we all have tickets to sell. So we know everybody, so everybody knows somebody that. So yes, hard tickets, Eventbrite, and if you do purchase on Eventbrite, your name will be on a list at the door.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. What should we expect from this movie?
Oh my goodness, some great acting.
Uh-huh.
You expect some great acting. I surprised myself with this one. So yeah, this is really good. Selena she's really happy with our work. So we're all excited.
Yeah.
This is my first debut. So
I know that's right. See, right here on Talking with 3D.
yeah.
What is the premise of the movie?
It's another drug dealer, out there. A street.
Does
town.
it take place in Baltimore? Or
Yes.
is it?
Park Heights.
Okay.
Streets of Baltimore, Park Heights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we want everybody, please go out and support Selena. She works hard. She does a lot of great movies that she has put out. So it's Return of the First Lady. It's going to premiere on March 26th, 7 p.m. at the Senator Theater. And again, tickets are available on Eventbrite, and they will have tickets also at the door as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can check out one of the actors, and they will have tickets as well.
See me, Selena, or Kimmy. All of the cast has tickets, though. So if you know them, you can get a ticket.
You can get a ticket. So contact Sherry Wilson, and she will make sure that she gets a ticket to you.
Absolutely.
So again, I appreciate you coming out and talking to me.
Thank you for inviting me to come out.
Yes.
I really appreciate that.
And this to be your first,
My
you know,
first, yes.
you did a great job.
Thank you.
You did a great job. So I appreciate you coming. I just want to make sure that, stay encouraged.
Okay.
Stay encouraged, because this is only beginning for you. And this is a stepping, this just take you the steps to higher places. Stay encouraged. You're going to have the people that will say negative things, people that are going to say positive things. You hear what you want to hear.
Absolutely.
You don't let people tear you down.
Nope.
You've been there, you've done that. It's now time for you to, to go to higher places.
Yes, absolutely.
So again, I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you as always to listening to Talking with 3D Live. I have really a great respect for everybody that has been watching the show. You guys will, comments and are growing. The views are growing. You are really, really into Talking with 3D. So I really appreciate it. I don't take it, things by what you say, however you say it. I enjoy every bit of it. So thank you very much. Listen, one other project that I'm going to do is I'm doing a chat and chew. I'm doing a chat and chew with my book. It's called The Whole Truth and Nothing But the Truth. So you can go on my page, and I'm doing my first chat and chew. So I'm going to gift 10 books. Oh, wow. I'm going to gift out 10 books if you email me at talkingwith3d@gmail.com. If you're interested and want to come to the chat and chew, which will be this spring, get the book first. You'll then read it, take your notes, and then we're going to get together and we're going to have a chat and chew. So if you are outside of the DMV and want to get the book, it is on Amazon. You can get the book on Amazon. Look up Derrick Dixon, The Whole Truth and Nothing But the Truth. But my first chat and chew for the book will be this spring. So if you want to get the book, all you have to do is email me, talkingwith3d@gmail.com, okay? And you can be a part of the chat and chew. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Go out, love somebody intentionally. Peace.